All right, I had to do this over because I had an equipment malfunction. So here we are, guys. I'm in my fourth installment of the BT-7 buddy build. And this evening I'm going to be priming the model in a couple of different colors. I'll be using the acrylic polyurethane surface primer in black and Russian 4BO. This is not painting, and mind you, this is priming, and I'm going to prime in a similar color, and there are reasons that we can do that. It reduces how much actual color you need to spray the model with when you do your actual base coat, which is nice. And of course the primer lays down a nice even smooth finish for the actual paint to adhere to, plus is a good base for us to do our weathering. So you guys saw the completed model. The tracks have set. I've got them sitting beside here. The glue is set on the tracks and they're ready to go. The wheels had already been previously painted. They're sitting over here next to that Tamiya BF-109 that I'm building, which is a tiny, tiny kit, by the way. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to get some paint in the cup and hopefully get this started, just to make sure we're spraying okay. Do a quick test. Pretty good. I think we're ready to go. Got my handy paint cleaning rag here. Stir up the primer. Very good. Put some paint in this cavernous cup. Make sure I'm spraying okay. Let me test it. Looking good. Now you may notice this evening that I am using a different airbrush. This is not my trusty Badger Patriot 105, which just happens to be right here. Tonight I'm using a Tamiya Spraywork HG single action airbrush because I'm going to be priming and because I haven't used it in a while. So I've got several airbrushes. This one I've never reviewed. I'm not going to do a full review, but this is another one of the beautiful Tamiya airbrushes that's actually made by BD Rich, the same company that makes Iwata. And another unique characteristic to this brush is that even though this is single action, I can control the flow of the paint with this paint or nozzle, or needle limiter, which pulls in or retracts the needle, which of course controls the flow of paint. I don't need the fine control when I'm priming that you would with a typical double action airbrush. So because I'm going to be doing this priming work, I don't need that level of control. So I think I'm going to double check that we're spraying okay again. Yep, looks good. I think I may even open it up just a tad, bring out some more paint. I think we're doing okay. And let's get started. So we're gonna kind of start in light coats. Now, one of the things I had mentioned that I was going to do with this model was wash it, and that's exactly what I did. I actually took this to the sink, got a salad bowl, my wife probably wasn't real happy with me doing, and took dishwashing liquid and a simple brush and cleaned all the grimy paw prints, my paw prints and fingerprints off of it to make it a little easier for the paint and the primer to adhere to. And I just realized I made a big goof there. I took the time to mask off the area for the driver's hatch, but I forgot to mask my clear headlight lenses. So don't I feel like a complete and utter dumbass? I even took the time to paint those flat aluminum behind that, so I need to mask those with something, and I know just the thing. I've got my micro mask all here. I'm going to paint these very quickly with, because I need to get this done. It's getting late. And I have to drive a long ways tomorrow. I apologize to everyone for being a dumbass and interrupting my painting session to do this. I'm not too worried about this being perfect, so I can go back and touch up any areas with a brush after I've finished and the primer and everything's all dry. Oops, that was a bit too much. Stuck the brush in too far. Now I have water. I need to clean off the front of this hole. So I hope that this masking stuff comes off easy enough, or else this is going to really stink. It's supposed to be water soluble. But we're going to see. Looking at my time and just barely getting started. Put the lid back on this stuff before I spill it and make a mess. See if I can't. I think that will be good enough. I don't know. Stuff is kind of wonky to work with. Once again, I dip it in too far. So I'm going to have to let this dry. So I'm going to avoid spraying the front for a little bit. Let's see if I can't get this to dry. That masking agent. I think it's like rubber. It's latex or something, maybe. Oh, heck, I don't know. So let's get back to work here. And I'm not being very efficient here, guys. I'm sorry. We're back to spraying. I'm going to say this brush is doing a really good job. Puts out a really nice mist. I'm spraying at 15 psi. I'm wondering if I might actually be able to spray a little higher than that. So, ran out of paint. Primer, rather. I don't want to tear up my tracks there. It took me forever to assemble. So. Painting the sponsons, or bottom of the fenders actually. Painting the bottom of the hull. A really nice looking flat, smooth finish. I say I'm pretty happy. There's these photo etched drills in here that I need to get. Looks pretty good. What are we doing up here in these lenses? I guess I can probably, at this point, I've got spares, so I can, worst case scenario, pull them off and repaint them. So I hope that works out okay. So there's that. So there we go. So fully primed. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. Primed and ready to go, and that was in this 4BO color. And that's not going to be the final color. That's not going to be the base coat. So there's the main hole. You guys can see that. Dries pretty quickly. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to let this thing dry for a couple of days probably. Next thing I'm going to do is paint this turret. And I'm low on color again. So I'm running out of time tonight. I'm going to have to do this as a two-parter. So my pre-shade and all that and the tracks I'll have to do in another segment. Here we go. You guys can see this okay. Here we go. Oops, I keep moving this out of the frame. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just absolutely bound and determined to break these tracks, so I'm going to move them. Flip this over. That is that. Looks good. I missed a seam. I'm going to have to fill a gap on top of that hole. That'll be interesting. So, that's really all I have time for tonight, guys. I appreciate you watching. I'm sorry this wasn't a little more exciting, but had to be done, right? So, I will talk to you guys later.